Hi everyone, Tyler Mannion here, NPC and IPB Pro League Vice President. This will be your Mr. Olympia recap for men's physique. So overall for men's physique, I think this top six was basically almost exactly what we want to see when it comes to men's physique. Obviously, each guy has some things they can work on, but overall, I think this was a great top six with our first full year of the height and weight caps. We see that, we got a lot more streamlined physiques and also more balance to the physiques, with the lower body as well. So I think this top six did a great job this year, and I think they were really a clear top six. These were definitely the top six guys, in the world. In first, we had Ryan, our returning champ. And in second, we had Ali. I think for Ryan, he did a great job of coming back. Obviously, he's always in great condition. Ryan's strength is his overall balance. And obviously, he has a great taper with a great midsection. And then when you go to the back, he has an amazing back that improves so much. So from the front, we see the balance with the shoulders and the arms. The chest is full, but obviously doesn't look like a bodybuilder's. He has a great V-taper, all coming into a nice midsection with very developed and conditioned abs. And then again, you go to the lower body, he has great lower body development, so he looks very balanced standing there. From the back, he's improved his back. Obviously, it was amazing last year. I think it was just as good, if not a little bit better this year. Now, conditioning-wise, Ryan was very conditioned, but for me, he was just, in the morning, a touch on the flat side. I think, even though that was the case, all of his strengths really were shown here, and it was enough for him to take the title because in second, we had Ali. I think Ali definitely improved from the Pittsburgh. He improved the thickness to his chest. He can still use just a touch more to that upper chest, but the thickness improved. And his front pose is very strong because he probably has the best core in men's physique right now. The abs are very 3D. The obliques are very conditioned. Everything is very, very separated in his abdominal section. He also worked on bringing up his legs more. I think he showed good balance between the upper and the lower body standing here in this front pose. The main thing for me, for Ali in the front pose, in the morning specifically, was he was crunched down too far on the abs and he wasn't making sure that he was opening his lats all the way here. If you go and see a video or look at the pictures of Ali from the finals, you will see how much better his front pose looked when he was posing it correctly. And this could have made the show much closer, in my opinion. Now, when we look at Ali from the back, again, I think he had a little bit of posing difficulty. I actually, obviously talked to him after the show to give him his feedback. He said, the nerves kind of took over with his first time, being in the center at the Olympia, which I can't blame him for. You can see from the back that he can still use just a little bit more width here. Look at him specifically next to Ryan. Also, when he was standing next to Aaron, you can see he needs a little bit more of that width for that taper in the back. And in the morning, I feel like his density and thickness and depth was a little bit on the flat side as well. It wasn't really shining through the way it needed to. So when you compared him next to Ryan, I think Ryan really beat him handily from the back. And the front was much closer, but just the way that Ali was posing kind of, got rid of everything that it could have been for him in the front pose. So for me, I think Ryan won clearly overall. Ali was second, but I do want to say that at night, Ali filled out even more and posed much better. And if he can bring that finals package to the prejudging stage and make it so it is either very close or, it could even go the other way in the morning with their current physiques, because Ryan, I don't think, was at 100% of peak in fullness for himself. So yeah, I think Ali is a very, very dangerous guy in this division, and he definitely poses his own set of problems to Ryan going forward. So it's exciting to see what these two guys are going to bring next year. In third place, we had Aaron. So for me, I feel like Aaron was very flat. He was very flat through the front. His chest, actually, for me, his chest looked flat. The amount of detail and separation in his midsection was flat. The abs weren't really popping, especially when, you compare him to the rest of the top six. Obviously, his back is very, very strong, even with him still being a little bit on the flat side. That is basically better than everybody else's up there other than Ryan's. So for me, I think the back kind of carried him forward a little bit. Now, in fourth, we had Emmanuel. Obviously, it was close between Aaron and Emmanuel. Emmanuel came out best his abs have ever looked, best his conditioning has ever been, the most detail and depth that we've seen in his back, especially throughout the center of his back. That's definitely improved. The number one thing Emmanuel can work on is definitely bringing up the legs more to exhibit the overall balance that we see in the guys that placed ahead of him, including Aaron as well. Aaron's worked on bringing those legs up, so his legs look more balanced with his upper body in the front pose. But when we brought these guys back out, at the end, I think Emmanuel's posing conditioning suffered a little bit. He started fading a little bit, looking a little bit softer. He also was having trouble opening up his back all the way on every single pose. So when they first came out, and we were looking at the top 6 group as a whole, for me, Emmanuel was actually a clear third over Aaron. And obviously, it changed some judges' minds, when he started to soften up a little bit and not be able to pose his back, by the end. So those are the things that Emmanuel can work on. And for Aaron, really, he needs just that pop and fullness back that he had when he won the Olympia in 2022. I don't think he's reached that level at any of the shows in the last 2 years since then. But conditioning wise, definitely need to see the clear separation and also the fullness, to the chest, to basically the entire upper body, especially in the front pose. In 5th, we had Edvon, who made his way back into the top 5. Definitely want to congratulate him on that because he got pretty big, over the last year. And after the Olympia last year, we told him he needs to streamline his physique. That is not an easy thing to do, but he did a great job in doing it because he brought the arms and the shoulders down in his front pose. He was starting to look a little bit, too big for the division. I don't think he does that now. He still needs to watch. His arms and shoulders definitely can't get any bigger. In the front pose, really, for me, I think he can use, just a little bit more taper and width, which is also the main thing he can use from the back. You see his back was very conditioned, very detailed, but he's lacking the width and the V-taper that the 4 guys ahead of him display. He also pinches a little bit through his traps in the back pose. That hurts him as well here, but the amount of detail and conditioning that he brought, again, he has great legs, so his overall balance is now very, very good, very, very strong. Really, if he can add more width, I think he can do a lot of damage and be very competitive to the guys that placed ahead of him. So if he can bring that condition and make a little bit more improvements, this is a guy that has a chance to move up places. And finally, we have Corey in 6th. I think Corey brought a great look to the stage. His number one thing that he needs to work on is bringing up the legs. I actually do want to say I think Corey's legs came up from earlier in the year, but they definitely still need to come up a good bit more. For Corey, his physique has been streamlined over the years. His arms are longer than a lot of the other guys, so I think this plays a part into it, but the arms and the shoulders still can come down just a touch for me. I think that will enhance his physique even more because, as you see, he has a very full chest. His midsection and core and abs and obliques is very conditioned, very separated. I think, he does have one of the best midsections, too, in this division. So to bring the arms and the shoulders down just a little bit more will really help emphasize how good that core is and bring more overall balance to his upper body. And then the legs coming up will bring more balance, overall balance to everything. From the back, I think Corey displays good depth and detail in the back. He has that 3D look, which is very, very good. For me, I still think he can use just a little bit more width to those lower lats to complete that look. But, the back is very strong, and I just think that the legs coming up more is going to enhance his overall look. So streamlining the arms and shoulders a little and bringing up the legs a little bit more. And really, like I said, these top 6 guys were the clear top 6 this year, and I think they're all very close to each other. All of these guys have the potential to, one day win the Olympia in this division from what I've seen. So I think, just with them going back more, any of these 6, you can see big movements between them, at any show, whether it's, just a pro show throughout the season or the Olympia next year. We could see some big movements. So everybody did great. Obviously, there were some guys, behind them. I think there's some good up-and-coming men's physique guys that have a lot of potential that we saw at this show. A lot of overseas guys that I feel like made some good improvements in call-outs and have really, really good potential as well. So I'm excited to see what, the division as a whole does throughout 2025.